Welcome to Roundtable. My name is Jon Card, and I'm one of the IT programmers for Combined. I've worked here 25, 26 years. So, fun time. So, new hire?
Yes.
Name and...
My name is Princeton Ross.
And you're working with...
I'm working with Blackwell.
Blackwell?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And...
my name's Jaden Whitted. I'm working with Blackwell.
Okay. Well, good. So I'll talk about relay codes, and you guys will understand, or you should understand what I'm going to be talking about. So relay codes for Blackwell only are used to pay for some lumpers. The advantage to you guys, you don't have to take any of your own money to pay for these. We're just going to give you a 6-digit code, and you give the code to the lumper people, and that will pay for your lumper. And then they'll give you your receipt, and you just handle it like you normally handle a receipt. The problem is that you're not always getting your lumper codes. You should get in your dispatch something that says lumper code required, but if you don't get the lumper code, then you need to request it on your OBC. And there's a little simple form. All you do is just type in your CT number, and it'll reply with your codes. Or it'll tell you that that stop is not a valid relay stop, which means you gotta pay for it yourself. Whether it's, get cash off your card or use your own credit card or whatever, but however you normally pay for lumpers. I have been manually sending codes to drivers, but in August I'm on vacation almost the whole month. So you're gonna have to make sure you use the OBC form to request those codes. You can also contact driver services, but honestly, it's much easier to use the form message because it's a computer-generated form. Just automatically type in your CT number, hit it. It comes to our computers, comes up with the answer, and sends it back to you. It's that simple. The problem that we're having is when the dispatchers put your dispatch in, our system sends it to you quickly. And it can take up to 10 minutes to get that relay code. So if they're very fast, I don't have time to generate it before they send the dispatch out. And so technically, if you're very fast, you could in theory come back with nothing. So wait 10 minutes and then request it, and you should be good then. And again, if you have a problem, call driver services. Couple of other easy messages. If you lose track of your PMs for your tractor or your trailer, there's a automatic form on the OBC to request your PMs, and it'll come back and tell you what they are. For your reefers, it will give you your current hours on the reefer and tell you when the PM is due in hours for the reefer. And then the reefers have 3 PMs. One is every 60 days, once a year, and then the other one is your actual reefer engine or whatever, and it's 1,000 hours. What else do I have? Road construction. If you come to the yards for the next year, you need to be careful about coming down Blackwell Road. Currently, the only way you can get to the yard during nighttime is to come off the freeway and come into the yard. You cannot come from White City down 140 or Blackwell. The road is closed. So you have to come around to the freeway and then come in that way. Also, there's going to be doing construction down Blackwell Road. So just be careful and obey the signs, and remember there's no sign in our driveway now, so you're not going to see any reflection. There's just a hole in the ground with some yellow or orange construction barriers around the hole in the center of the driveway. So be careful about that. Melissa is, well, we all are concerned about our CVA scores. I think Randy talked quite a bit about them last week, so if you want the actual details, you can talk about that. She asked me to talk a little bit about personal conveyance on the ELDs. We've had some drivers get stopped and ticketed because they said they were on personal conveyance, and DOT didn't believe them, and they didn't do it right. So a couple rules. You're not supposed to do personal conveyance to advantage the trucking company. And by that I mean, if you're sitting at Phoenix, for example, and you decide you want to come down to Central Point Pilot, and you're going northbound, and you take your trailer with you, that's conveniencing the company, and that's probably not something you should be doing unless you have a really good reason that has nothing to do with getting through Medford fast. You need to document your PC, the reason why, and just documenting personal conveyance is not a reason. I went to Walmart. Other examples, personal conveyance to Pilot clothes washing facility. Taking truck to pick up prescription at Costco in Medford. Those were some of the examples that she used. So you want to be careful about it. Technically, we don't want you to do a lot of PC in the first place, just because we don't want you to try putting a lot of extra miles on the trucks. But if you are parked somewhere and you take it in to go fill up your truck with food or something, that's not a big deal, and that's what you need to do is PC. But you also need to remember that every time you turn that key off and you turn it back on, you got to reselect PC. It's not something you can forget. You need to, every time you get in that truck and start it up, you need to make sure your proper button is pushed for what type of move you're making. So you just need to make that a habit. Every time you get in the truck and start it up, you need to select your mode, if you will. Glass raises, I think Randy talked about that too, but I want to remind everybody, we're almost at August 1st. So combined glass drivers getting 3 cents a mile, plus anything over 10,000 miles, you're going to be getting an additional 20 cents per mile on that. Now, you got to remember that the 3 cents goes into effect immediately, but you won't see it until your 20th payroll. And for your 10,000 mile bonus, you don't see it until the end of the month, so that's more like the 4th of the following month when you're going to see that. And I've already indicated the email that you get on your payroll for email. You will see that glass bonus or glass mileage bonus. I don't remember what I put it down as, but we will definitely be listing that as a separate entry for you. And of course, we've always listed your total miles anyway. So the problem is your total miles will be the last 2 payrolls. So you gotta go back and add the 2 up to see that did you go over the 10,000. So for combined drivers that go to Canada, we just replenished or renewed the Ontario CVOR certificate, and you need to get the new one. There is CS customer service request a form in your OBC, and you can automatically request the CVOR certificate. But remember, when you get it, you need to put it inside your licensing book. If you stop here, you can get it from Jeannie or from Driver Services. But do not go into Ontario with an expired CVOR certificate. And the expiration date is on the certificate. I think the one that's in the books now expire in September, so you've got a month or so to get it. But please make sure you stop and get it, or send it somewhere where you can get it printed out and put in your book.
Is that all of Canada or only?
Well, technically you only need to have it if you're going to Ontario.
Okay.
But all Canadian qualified drivers should have it, because if you're Canadian, if you're qualified, you can do it. That's also true for Quebec. Every time you get a dispatch for Quebec, it should say, write this number on your bill of lading. And every time you're going to Quebec, you need to write this number on your bill of ladings. And it should be in your dispatch, it'll tell you to do that. But it's something that you need to do when you go to Quebec. You guys have any questions about anything? No? Okay, only thing I want to encourage you is please send in your times using your all stop messages. If you get a error message saying you were not authorized and you don't understand, contact me if you need to, and I'll be glad to help you explain why the message failed. Common things that I've seen, you typed in your CT number wrong. Something else I want to mention is if you do a form and you get a rejection, you can go back into your send items and hit edit, go back into the same message you just filled out and make corrections and resend it. You don't have to retype the whole thing over again. And that's a lot simpler than having to go back into the original blank form and type it all in again. So I do that when I'm testing quite a bit. So I'll go back in, edit the message, and just resend it again and again and again until it looks good from my end. But if you have a problem with these messages, let us know. A couple times I have issues, oh, well, this has been happening for the last year. Well, if nobody tells you, we're never going to correct it. And we can correct things fairly quickly most of the time. Anybody have anything else?
No, just
Pretty simple.
like we've been ending all of them. Consciously hydrate, folks. It's that time of year. Drink before you need to drink. Just keep yourself hydrated. That's
Okay.
it.
I'm a little disappointed there was nobody in the yard today. We bought a lot of pizzas. That means I guess I get to take one home with me, an extra one.
I think that's correct.
All right.
Y'all stay safe out there.